Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Zamboni Talk. Before we get started here today, I just wanted to thank you all so much for joining me along this journey. I hope you're all getting something out of this, catching all the episodes, and all I ask is that if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. So, without further ado, what we're going to be talking about here today is regarding a subject of a book that I've recently read that has really resonated with me. And that's why I love reading actually so much, is because as I read these books, these tremendous books, and there is so much wisdom and knowledge, and I see things through a different light each and every time I do it. And the book that I've been reading recently is The Fastlane Millionaire. And you guys can look it up. It's an easy read, it's a great read. But what it's really been opening my eyes to is that the slow way to build wealth that we're all taught, and this goes into the book I read before, Die with Zero. It's a lot of the same concept, is that you put away a certain amount of money and then to be rich in 30 years, or to work a job for 30 years so you can get a pension that you can just survive off of, is just absolutely preposterous in today's world, and the way that we think of that. And why this is so crazy is that it makes perfect sense, with the amount of money they are printing on a daily basis, the amount of inflation that we're all seeing before our eyes. It is absolutely ridiculous in life to not go after what you want, because if you don't, you will be left with nothing, and you will live a miserable, miserable life, right? Because you will constantly be chasing more to be able just to survive. And that is really the slow lane, is hopefully one day I'll be rich when I'm 60 years old. And that is just a horrible way to think, because we have to go after what we want today. Because the risk of that is that not only will we live an unfulfilled life, but the chances are, for the majority of us, because even a well-paying job, you're going to have a very, very hard time getting ahead, right? And that is what I have been dedicating the last couple of years of my life towards, is that I work tremendously hard. I work a lot of hours. I sacrifice a lot, but I invest so much of my money into future appreciating assets and things that are going to pay me, and projects that are hopefully one day going to make me the money. I mean, not hopefully, I shouldn't be speaking like that. That are going to make me the money that I need to survive these projects, right? And that's what I'm doing. And the fact that people will not chase that because they chase comfort is absolutely crazy to me, right? That they will not leave a job that will never make them wealthy, that will never allow them to advance, that will not fulfill them because they're comfortable in where they are, or somebody tells them that that's the way to live their life, in the slow lane. And I just wanted to encourage you all to read this book, or it's up to you if you want to read this book or not, but to go into the fast lane, to try that business you've always wanted to try, to do that endeavor, to take those riskier investments, especially when you are young, is absolutely imperative if you want to achieve a level of wealth and freedom while you still have the time and while you still have the health. And this brings me to another point this is to a lesser extent, but I know in an industry that I used to work, not one that I'm still in, but when I was in more so the refrigeration side of what I was doing, there used to be a large pool of overtime available, right? And what guys used to say is that it was on a pay scale, right? So apprenticeships, as you get a certain amount of hours, you would make more money, right? And what guys would do is that they wouldn't take any overtime, even though there was tons available. They wouldn't take any overtime because they said, I'm going to wait until I'm at full wage or until the wages keep going up until I get any overtime. Sure, that's one way to approach it. But is that guaranteed that you're even going to be okay to take that overtime 5, 10 years from now when your wage is higher? Right? For me, I want the money today so that I can invest into what I want today. Because that money, you think about how much that money can compound, whether you're investing into an asset or into yourself, the compounding effect of that is absolutely immeasurable. Right? I mean, I guess you can measure it, but that is very difficult to do because of how much that can compound, because one thing can turn into another, and that can snowball into another thing, all because you had that capital to be able to invest in what you wanted to invest at that certain time. Right? And that is what I am doing this year as well, and getting myself into circles is I take those overtime shifts right now. I work that extra so that I can have that money to invest into conferences, to invest into courses, to be able to start the businesses and run the investments that I want to run and get around the right people. And if I have the mindset that I'll take this extra money 10 years from now, when this is higher, when I have more in the pension, whatever else that people, whatever other notions people may conceive, I wouldn't be able to do half the stuff that I'm doing today. Right? I just would not be able to do it. So this is what I wanted to tell you all. And I just wanted to get your mindset going in this direction, to take the fast lane. If you have something that you want to do and that's going to compound and eventually become that business or that source of income for you that you need to be able to live the life that you want, then that is something you have to get started on today. Today, not next week or whatever, right? And I truly believe that in today's world, because of how much things go up in price in a short amount of time, and the amount of money that gets put out there in the system, and how much demand is out there for all the goods that we want, how they keep going up and up and up, that by actually taking the safe route and by staying comfortable and having that guaranteed source of income is actually more of a risk than taking a risk. Right? That is what I truly believe, because for the average person, if they work and let's just say make a normal income and cannot do anything fun during the year, doesn't have any extra money to invest, or maybe a couple $100 a month, and he won't accumulate real wealth or be able to do really fun stuff until you're retired, which is 55, 65, 70 years old, which you might not even be alive or have the health to enjoy anything at that time. If that's the life you are living, I believe that is incredibly risky, because who's to say that you're going to be in a state or the physical capabilities to enjoy what you want at that point in your life? I think that is incredibly, incredibly risky, right? But we are all conditioned that that's the way to live, to sock away a certain amount of money, to save more for retirement, to be financially responsible, whatever they say that is, right? And I understand that by taking risk and going against the grain is incredibly difficult, but I'm living proof that I am doing all the things that I want to do aside from working my main jobs, because I have responsibilities, I have a family that I need to take care of. So I do what I need to do, pay the bills I need to pay, and then on the spare time, I'm not watching Netflix. I'm not doing useless activities. I'm not smoking pot, doing drugs, drinking on my spare time, because I want to be in the fast lane where I achieve wealth before the age of 30. Serious wealth where I'm able to live comfortably. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I want to help you guys do as well. So I hope you took something out of this, and I hope it changed your mindset a little bit or allowed you to open up a little bit. But until next time, all I ask is that you please like and subscribe and join me on this journey. We'll catch you in the next episode of the Daily Zamboni Talk.